Welcome to CEO Insights. I'm Marilyn de Guzman with Investing News Network. Today I'm speaking with David D'Onofrio, CEO of White Gold Corp, a Canadian gold exploration company, about a very exciting new development at the company's flagship project located in the Yukon. Good to see you again, David.
Very excited to be here. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, so let's get down to it then. You've just updated the mineral resource estimate for the White Gold project. Tell us why this is significant.
Yeah, we are really thrilled to have announced the achievement of a major milestone for our company. Today, we announced an updated mineral resource estimate for our flagship White Gold project. This is one of our focus areas. White Gold has an incredibly large district-scale land package where we think we'll be able to replicate this over and over. But just with regards to this particular project, we announced a resource today that included 1.15 million ounces indicated at about 2.23 grams and 950,000 ounces in the inferred category. Altogether, this is about 2.1 million ounces, very excellent grade. It's primarily open-pittable. It's in an excellent jurisdiction and in an area that is emerging to be what I think one of Canada's next major gold camps. There's been very significant investments by several major mining companies recently. Specifically, White Gold has two major mining companies as a partner, being Agnico Eagle and Kinross. Our neighbor for this project is Newmont, who's advancing their coffee discovery. This is also a project that was discovered by our technical team and sold. Newmont is now the owner. And there's several other major mining companies that have been invested in the district. Rio and Mitsubishi invested in one of our other neighbors, Western Copper and Gold. So this is, fundamentally a huge threshold for us to be at over 2.1 million ounces. I think this is now amongst one of the largest gold deposits that's open-pittable at such high grades in Canada. And I think it really sort of helps validate, our thesis from the very beginning that there's a tremendous amount of gold in this area. We are literally just scratching the surface, and in a very short amount of time, we've been able to delineate this significant gold deposit. And as I mentioned, I really think we're just scratching the surface here, and very excited for what is to come for this deposit, which remains open in all directions, and other opportunities on the balance of our large land package.
Right. So for those in the investor community, you've mentioned open-pittable, right? So for those in the investor community, could you just educate us on, why it's significant, why open-pittable is significant and important?
Sure. Like anything else, it all comes down to economics. And generally speaking, open pit mines are more economical as it's less costly to be able to extract the ore and process it by scooping out of the ground versus having to go through the complex engineering of having to go underground.
Right. So are there still other opportunities for these deposits to, grow even further?
Absolutely. So there is, a couple of things. Just for one bit of context. So White Gold, we own an area that's about 350,000 hectares. That's over 1 million acres. So we are a true district, opportunity. And what we like in our opportunity here is like, imagine being able to go and own a mining camp 100 years ago, almost all of it. Timmins, Nevada, Val-d'Or. And that's what we think here. And what we've seen so far is there's been several major discoveries in a very recent amount of time. And this area has never been looked at. The Klondike area, for those who don't know, was the epicenter of the big gold rush about 120 years. Since that time, there's been over 20 million ounces of gold that have been mined from surface, placer mining. And, with that type of gold at surface, there's a very high probability of significantly more and more amounts of gold in the earth below. Almost no modern day exploration was done up until about 15 years ago when our partner, Sean Ryan, went there, prospected it. Made two major discoveries, one of which is the one we're talking about today. The other one was bought by a major mining company for $500 million. He's really developed protocol, how to efficiently explore in this area. We've proven that on this deposit. This deposit itself remains open for expansion in all directions. In fact, part of the update today was our Orion Surprise. That's a brand new discovery we just made. It's on a 6.5 kilometer long mineralized trend that's seen almost no work. And we think there could be several other of these types of deposits. So in addition to each of these deposits growing themselves, we think there's going to be many, many more occurrences of this type of mineralized zones in that area. Outside of this particular project, on our other properties, we've made some major discoveries in the last couple of years. One of them is called on our Betty project. This is contiguous to Newmont's Coffee property and Western Copper and Gold Big Casino deposit, where we drilled 50 meters or 3.5 grams from surface. That's an outstanding world-class result. Now stepped that out over 100 meters, where we drilled this year 18 meters of 9 grams per ton. Again, excellent tenors of gold. We're very excited about that target as well, and particularly that target because of where it's located. It's the best place to find economic deposits are near existing deposits, so it's truly an elephant country. It's along the same trend. That's one of our other ones, and we have several more of these types of opportunities in our district. I really think, we're in the very, very early days unlocking great mineral potential in this area. It's a very supportive government. The government's actually investing very significant amounts of money specifically to help ourselves and other companies in the area advance their mining exploration development projects.
Right. That's very interesting. So where do you go from here? What are the next steps?
The next steps will be a couple of things. We'll be publishing our 2023 exploration plans very soon. We have a very exciting year lined up for us. I think it's going to be extremely impactful. Last year, we announced those high-grade results. We did the work to show that this resource will continue to grow. I think you're going to see more of the same. And what I think I'm very hopeful for is that with this continued focus on this district, there'll be more attention, and the general public will start to realize, how undervalued this area is.
Right. That definitely will put the Yukon back on the map for gold exploration. What about your other projects? Are there other projects that you're sort of working on and focusing on aside from this?
Just to name a few, there's just so many opportunities in this company. I could talk for hours, but I would say 2 or 3 of the ones that are really receiving the most interest from the market now is one was Betty property that I just talked about. But we're so blessed with abundant amount of very exciting targets. Another target we'll be looking to drill this year is on our Nolan property. This one's at the north of our package. It's road accessible. It's on the 60-mile Pica Fault. This is a very prolific placer mine. So hundreds of thousands of ounces of gold have been mined there on the surface. We've delineated a 2-kilometer-long swell anomaly that's sitting right on this fault. The fact that we are able to drill for the first time ever a target like that in 2023 is almost unbelievable. I don't want to say it's too good to be true, but it's almost is to think of what we've been able to put together to have this type of a land package, the support of excellent partners, this highly successful team, and just so much blue sky potential on all those properties. So that's one area I think everyone is very excited to see us do some work on. We've also delineated 2 very large copper porphyry targets on our property. These are on the southern end of our land package and very close to Western Copper and Gold Casino Porphyry project. That is an absolutely enormous project that will have major sort of economic benefits to Canada as a whole when it goes into production. It's at, I think, 14 or 20 million ounces of gold and 14 billion pounds of copper. What we're seeing in our targets there have similar type signatures. And as I mentioned before, these types of deposits tend to happen together. Porphyries happen in clusters. So that's kind of a very interesting early stage target we're looking at. And there's a couple other very high-grade gold discoveries we've made in the last couple of years, which we'll probably be looking to do some more work on.
Right. And copper certainly is another interesting one with the electrification Absolutely. And the move towards...
Yukon is just so blessed with all types of mineral endowment. It's seen very little work relative to other places in Canada. It's not that remote in my view. If you're in Vancouver, you can get up there in a few hours on a plane. The government is building roads specifically to help all our companies advance. You see major acquisitions in the territory. I think is honestly just sort of overlooked in the last few years, but it's certainly on the focus. It's going to be able to provide a lot of these critical minerals that Canada is looking, in addition to gold, silver, and other precious metals, which are, I think, becoming more and more relevant in today's market.
Great. Well, thanks for coming again today to share the news from the company.
Yeah, it was great to be here. We are so very excited. I think the best is ahead of us, and please stay tuned for more.
Sounds great. And thank you for joining, everyone. Join us again next time for another engaging conversation on CEO Insights.